not tackling these challenges is bad for business. It's bad for the bottom line. Because when the poor and the working class give up on the promise that their lives will get better, they will direct their anger on all of us. And therefore, not tackling these challenges is bad for business. It's bad for the bottom line. You also cannot have a conversation about the role of business if you don't take into account that it is a conversation whose impact must last beyond the lifetime of businesses and the lifetime of individuals who work in and run these businesses. In other words, when we have this conversation about the role of business, about growth, it must be conversations whose impact is intended to last beyond our own lifetimes. Because in the present, we may be engaging in behaviors, political, social, and economic, that limit the potential for growth for future generations. And that is why I think climate change and interventions to deal with that are important. Unfortunately, when I watched the United Nations deliberations on climate change, once again, I was left with a sense of despair and dismay. Because once again, in the UN, our political leaders were making empty and hollow statements about the need to deal with climate change. Worse still, it is still my sense that globally, business continues to make statements that are even more hollow about climate change. Here's the challenge for me. The day I hear business acknowledging that the implications of committing themselves to a program to deal with climate change are that there will be an erosion in their profits over time, it is the day I will accept their bona fides. Because those are the implications. The implications are that, for instance, there are certain economic activities you might have to stop completely, such as mining. Mining coal, for instance. We might have to agree that no country that is endowed with coal will remove it from the ground. And if we're serious about climate change, that means we then accept that over time there might be some kind of erosion in the kind of profits we expect. Until we reach that point, we are not committing ourselves to climate change. We are committing ourselves to the destruction of our planet. But that does not concern us because our vision does not extend beyond the lives of business today or our own lives. It's not going to be our problem. It is going to be the problem of future generations. But when you come back to South Africa, what keeps me awake every night is this: trust deficits between labor and business, trust deficits between business and the ANC. That's what used to keep me awake. But something else has happened that is keeping me awake. The deficits in trust have mutated into a crisis of confidence. In a way, that crisis of confidence is worse because it coincides with deficits in trust, which means a coincidence of deficits in trust and a crisis of confidence makes it almost impossible for the social partners to unite behind a common vision and a common program for growth and the amelioration of the economic conditions of South African citizens. What is the nature of the crisis I'm talking about? This crisis of confidence. Billions upon billions are sitting on the balance sheets of South African corporates. Billions that should be invested in the economy to create opportunities for job creation and growth. And there's a good reason why these billions upon billions are sitting on the balance sheets of South African corporates. They lack confidence in the capacity of the ANC government to give technical and thought leadership to society as a whole and economic actors in this economy.